Yusek, maraming nagtatanong, bakit ngayon na may pandemya pa, ay pilit nating isinusulong itong anti-terrorism bill?
My understanding, Sec, is itong batas na ito, itong bill na ito ay matagal nang nakabinbin sa Kongreso. I think for over a decade. This is actually an amendment doon sa ating existing na terrorism law as well as yung Terrorist Financing Act. No? So this is an improvement over an existing legislation, and siguro nagkataon lamang na yung pansin ng Kongreso ay natuon dito sa legislation na ito at this point in time.
Makakatulong ba ito sa ating bansa sa pagharap natin sa mga terorista?
Well, even at the start of the pandemic, yung ating mga agencies involved in national security have been very alert and has repeatedly informed us na kailangang hindi natin tigilan yung pagbabantay sa mga possible na terrorist activities, no? Especially because in times of a pandemic, baka i-exploit nila yung pagkakataon na ito. And so, this pandemic is no excuse for us to also look at the security aspect ng ating bansa.
Opo, Yusek, meron pong nagsasabi na masyado daw pong vague o malabo ang definition ng terrorism sa panukalang ito. Can you please clarify to us the definition of terrorism sa konteksto po ng anti-terrorism bill at ano-ano po yung mga aksyon na maituturing bilang terorismo? Ang isa po ba daw aktivista ay maituturing ng isang terorista?
Yusek Rocky, no, it might be premature for me to discuss yung aming opinion on the proposed Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020 dahil nga sa may request ata ang Executive Department for the Department of Justice to review this legislation. No? So at this point, I'd rather reserve yung opinion namin on the provisions of the Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020 after na ma-review din ng Department of Justice yung proposed legislation. Although, I would say at this point na based on a cursory reading of the provisions of the bill, the proposed law, it would seem na marami yung hinahanap niyang elements before a specific act may be considered as a terrorist act or an act that is covered by the anti-terrorism law or proposed law. And so, yung I would just probably, to answer that question, bring attention to one of the provisions of the law which says na hindi niya in essence pinipigilan yung dissent, yung opposition, yung criticism against the government. So that, I think, should somehow calm yung concerns of certain quarters over the possible abuses di umano na posibleng makommit using the Anti-Terrorism Act or the proposed Anti-Terrorism Act of 2020.
Alright, Yusek, sinabi niyo po na you are still reviewing some of the provisions, if not all of the provisions ng batas na ito. So, can we ask you any question about this bill at all?
As to the content, siguro I would rather that we defer yung possible na position ng Department of Justice. Because as a matter of course, no, once a bill is enrolled, once a proposed legislation is approved by both houses of Congress, normally naman the Office of the President would ask yung agencies involved to comment on a proposed legislation para din sa use ng Office of the President. And that's what we are doing at the moment.
Understood, sir. Understood. We understand your position, Yusek Perete. Sir, pasado sa Kongreso, Senado, ilang linggo po ang inaasahan ng publiko bago lumabas po ang inyong rekomendasyon para kay Presidente?
We hope to expedite as well yung aming opinion on this proposed legislation, precisely because we understand that the President has also certified the bill as urgent. And so, on the part of the Department of Justice, in-expedite po natin ang paglalabas ng aming review and opinion on the provisions of the Anti-Terrorism Act.